My friend texted their dad asking for 10. And he jokingly sent them 690. I wish my parents had the same sense of humor. Edited. Who doesn't get the joke? 69 is like a funny number. Haha. I had a roommate in college who thought students on financial aid should stand at the end of the cafeteria line. I was on financial aid. God, what could possibly be the justification for that? Like, do you actually think rich people are better than poor people? What the heck? As if the stench of poverty might ruin everyone's appetite. Let's have a BBQ at my place tomorrow. Bring your parents. Tomorrow is Monday. Oh, write your parents' work. In a creative writing class, I once wrote a scene that almost verbatim, step by step, repeated how my stepfather screamed at my mom, including his words, actions, even how he demeaned and grabbed her. Someone said it was too grotesque, and people don't act like that in real life. Traveling is easy. Just put away $100-300 from each paycheck. I don't understand why people don't do it. This was right after college when I started paying back loans and made $18 an hour. I said, lady, I'm glad if I have at least 20 left over. Her eyes widened. Similarly, when people say that in your 20s you have to travel, see the world and broaden your horizons before settling down. Do you think I don't want to? It's very expensive. And how do I take so many days off? My friend's sister, who is in med school, said, did you know that some people pay for school themselves? Same vein. Wish my kids didn't qualify for financial aid. She thinks financial aid is some kind of privilege that everyone else gets, but she was somehow deprived of. This was said by a woman from an upper middle class family who married someone with the same level. I know few 25-year-olds without college debt whose first house is a 4-bedroom mansion with a pool. At the same time, they already have 2 kids, and they recently finished remodeling the basement where there is everything. No, trust me, you don't want your kids to qualify for financial aid. For that, first give up your big house, pool, and regular vacations. And you don't have to pay for your children's education at expensive universities, but you can afford it without cutting any of your expenses. Edited. This couple earns $350K a year. The husband is a partner in the company. My therapist said I have anxiety about the wealth I inherited. How can I get such anxiety? Try to be reborn into a rich family in the next life. I don't understand why poor people don't just start planning their budget better. Yeah, found the CEO of life here. I had a friend who compared our childhoods and said, well, I went to summer camp just because my parents included this expense in the budget. What a delulu. My father dug up some scholarships and arranged for me to be included in the youth program at the sports club. Then every year he repaired the camp and club for free, so that my place would be reserved. I was one of the few who actually wanted to go there. The rest of the kids were just forced into nature for a week by their parents. Those who advise to just plan the budget better have no idea how difficult it is to get money literally out of nowhere and how difficult it is to get out of poverty. My ex once said, before a date, I won't wear a Rolex so you don't feel poor. I wouldn't even notice if someone wore a Rolex. I rarely notice rings or watches on people at all. To be honest, I wouldn't recognize an expensive watch even if it came up to me, shook my hand, and introduced itself. Friends who vacation on private islands and complain. I wonder what they're complaining about. Too quiet? Too secluded? About the food, the weather? How much do you think the city will make me pay to move the bus stop so I can remodel the ground floor into a garage? I don't know if this example is on topic, but at that moment I clearly realized how different my problems are from my friends. A friend wanted macarons from a Parisian pastry shop for breakfast. She cancelled her evening date to fly there for one night and eat them. Yeah, 99% of life depends on which vagina you came out of. One person told me that in his opinion poor people just don't try hard enough and that everyone has the same 24 hours a day. It's amazing how seriously he said it, as if inherited wealth, health, and safety don't play a role at all. Yeah, we don't all have the same 24 hours. Someone has private chefs, someone can afford to order takeout, someone cooks every meal themselves and goes to 3 stores to buy the products at the lowest price. Someone spends their free time looking for coupons to possibly afford some groceries. Someone has a private plane, someone has a driver and can work or relax on the way. Someone drives a private car, someone lives near good public transport and can also relax on the way. Someone shares one car between several people and spends hours every week adjusting to other people's schedules. Someone rides a bicycle or walks. The list goes on. Paying medical bills without insurance or with crappy insurance. Household tasks. Have you tried paying bills without permanent registration? Damn it, raising children. And it's not just about income. It's also social isolation, poor transport, physical and mental health. Many ways to be disadvantaged, but money can mitigate these problems to some extent. Edited. Yes, even access to the internet, God. If it's not there and you have to go somewhere, see above, just to perform basic online tasks, imagine how much time you would lose in a day. One girl from school complained that her parents canceled their annual ski trip to Switzerland, and they had to settle for Jackson Hole. Poor thing, tough times. My aunt is in Greece right now just chilling to sunbathe. She doesn't do anything else there. Although it's one of the most beautiful places on earth, she only went there because she heard there were the best conditions for sunbathing. Like the sun is better. I don't know, she didn't go into details. Maybe there is less air pollution that blocks ultraviolet light, or the sun shines longer. All I know is she's there for 2 weeks, and she has no plans to leave the territory of the rented house. My wife works with very high-level clients. Sometimes she sees food orders for $20,000. Plus that are barely touched. And then it's all thrown away because of legal risks. I wish it was irony, but no. Who even orders food for such amounts? Is this catering for a party? If you want to get burned, check out how they clean up expensive airplanes. Sometimes they find some real horror there. Had to fly first class instead of a private jet. Some people have tough lives. I once worked at a company where the CEO always flew on private planes, but then the company opened its first foreign office, and he had to fly on a regular flight for the first time in 20 years. After his return, the secretary gladly recounted that he didn't know how to go through security, how much luggage he could take, and how much everything depended on the flight schedule. One person asked why I even work considering I'm Indian. The guy thought the government pays me for being Native American. Maybe he's from a region where the tribe really gives good money. Near us, the tribe has monthly payments and free housing on the reservation. They have a huge casino and sports complex, and they all fund it, so they really don't have to work if they don't want to. Although most still work. I worked in a private care service for a very wealthy woman who had caregivers on duty around the clock. One evening I came to her shift, started preparing her for bed, and noticed new leggings and sweaters with tags in the closet. I said they were cute, and she said that the morning caregiver took her to Target. Then she asked me, have you ever been there? And added that she didn't even know such stores existed. No wonder, because all she had was Neiman Marcus, Saks, Gucci, Prada and so on. I laughed and said, honey, if you like Target so much, then Walmart will definitely amaze you. There you can buy groceries while they change your tires or choose a new TV and garden furniture. Gee, you serious? That's where we're going tomorrow. Why don't you just buy a house? This apartment is terribly small for the 4 of you. I really loved the person who said this. He was like family to me, but my ex and I couldn't believe our ears. I really wanted to answer with sarcastic sarcasm. Oh really? We didn't even think about it. We will definitely go for a house tomorrow. Maybe you should write a check for the down payment, since this is such a brilliant idea and we don't have the money. Was in a store with my kids, one guy started talking to me, said he had 4 kids under the age of 5. I replied, well, that's how many times you need to change diapers. And he so calmly, I don't change diapers. And that's it. My jaw probably dropped to the floor. In our family, I change diapers probably 90% of the time. I am a stay-at-home mom and my husband is often away. But he's not like that at all. Listen to my ex tell me that her parents rented a place in a crappy trailer park in the middle of nowhere to use it as an address to receive financial aid. Although she herself is from a wealthy family from Virginia Beach. A very nice guy studied with me in college. We went to art school together. Here's our dialogue. Man, let's go to this weekend's art bazaar. No, I need to work. Tell them you're sick. I need money for the rent. Why don't your parents give it to you? Deep, endless sigh. If it's about money, you don't need tickets and a hotel. We can take my father's jet. Rolls eyes to the back of her head. No, thank you. Maybe another time. He was genuinely upset and just couldn't understand that I really couldn't go. First, my younger sister dragged me to a party. Our parents didn't want to let her go alone. The parties were thrown by her boyfriend's friends, who were my age. We were still teenagers. The guy and his friends were from very wealthy families. One of them received a new, expensive car as a gift for his 18th birthday. I think it was a top-of-the-line BMW model, but he wrecked it just a week later while driving drunk. There were no consequences for him. The family took care of everything. The guy was even allowed to choose another expensive car. He and his friends found the situation hilarious. Second, I was in an informal meeting with the crew of a small non-profit organization to discuss proposed changes, including cuts. The organization hadn't indexed salaries for several years. When I arrived, my salary was in the upper quartile for the region. Now it's significantly below market. We, the employees in the lower pay brackets, felt this especially keenly. The director tried to express sympathy by saying that it was also difficult for her because she could no longer afford to have her hair professionally styled twice a week. That is, just washing and styling her hair by a hairdresser twice a week. When she saw the expressions on our faces, she tried to take it back. but it was too late. In the same category as your second story. I then had a negative balance of -$100 a month. I asked for a raise. The president of the company looked me in the eye and said, "Everyone has to sacrifice something now. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm driving last year's BMW model." This was the same person who cancelled the New Year's bonuses and decided that a tour of his new yacht would be a great replacement for them.